Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite DraftKings plays and a couple of my favorite prize picks for tonight's 12-game slate in the NHL. Let's get right into it. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do, highlighting the 12 games in the NHL tonight, showing you the money lines and over-unders. First set of games here, we got the Sabres at Panthers, Capitals at Red Wings, Lightning at Flyers, Golden Knights at Maple Leafs, Coyotes at Canadiens, and the St. Louis Blues taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Next set of games here, we got the Hurricanes at Wild, Senators at Predators, Kings at Flames, Stars at Avalanche, Penguins at Canucks, and the New Jersey Devils taking on the San Jose Sharks. And then here's the schedule update for this week. Video here today and tomorrow breaking down each of those NHL DFS slates. I'll be talking about that 3-game slate on Friday in my Discord as well. And then note, off to the right-hand side, I will be leaving Friday evening through next Tuesday, doing a little Canada hockey trip with my dad. I'm going to plan to be in my Discord, but will not be making YouTube content at that time. So if you haven't joined my Discord yet, it is completely free to do so. There's a link to join in the description below of this video. If you can't find that, just leave me a comment, and I'm happy to send you an invite there. With all that said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. Now, with 12 games, 24 different teams playing, there's truly a lot to love about this slate, especially when it comes to stacking. But one line that I think could fly under the radar in a good matchup is this first line for the Nashville Predators. You got O'Reilly centering Forsberg and Nyquist. I like this spot at home here against the Ottawa Senators, a team that's playing on back-to-back nights, and one that's really struggled in their own zone all year long. They've allowed 3.55 goals per game this year, the third most in the NHL, while having the league's third worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 74% rate. And I love the correlation we're getting with this first line here out of Nashville, with all three of these guys playing up on the Preds' #1 power play. And you can see their numbers there as well this season: 63 goals, 90 assists, 153 points in 59 games, essentially averaging 2.6 points per game as a line. And then another line stack that I like here tonight is that first line for the New Jersey Devils. We had Hischier centering Palat and Brad. This line has truly been great all year long, and maybe their numbers don't reflect it as much on the score sheet, but overall analytics have really favored them. You can see there, of 100 qualified lines this year, they rank first overall in shot attempts per 60 minutes, second overall in expected goals per 60 minutes, and seventh overall in goals per 65 on 5. We're going to see Hischier and Brad play up on the Devils' #1 power play, and Palat play down on their #2 power play, and a great spot here on the road against the San Jose Sharks, a team that's allowed 3.77 goals per game this year, the most in the NHL, while having the 5th worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 75% rate. Now folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Day by day, we're trying to build up this Slydog Sports brand, and every like, comment, and sub from you guys truly does help us out. Alright, now diving into some of these individual plays that I like here for tonight, we're going to start at the forward position, and first guy that I got at the top is Austin Matthews. This guy's been on an absolute tear as of late. 12 goals, 7 assists, 19 points in his last 10 games, averaging close to 4.5 shots on net per game, and close to 24 DraftKings points per game. And Vegas just isn't playing very good hockey right now, so I like the spot here for Toronto. Vegas is 1-4-1 in their last 6 games, where they've allowed close to 4 goals per game, and Poppy is obviously going to play up on that first line and #1 power play for the Maple Leafs. Now, speaking of guys who are really finding their game right now, Patrick Kane looks back to his old ways. He's got 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points, and 25 shots on net here in his last 10 games, playing up on that first line and #1 power play for the Red Wings. And I like the spot for the Red Wings in general, playing the Capitals, who are also on back-to-back games. And then I got Matthew Boldy there. While this is a tough matchup for Minnesota at home against Carolina, that first line for Minnesota right now is on an absolute tear. Boldy included 7 goals, 7 assists, 45 shots on net in his last 10, averaging close to 19 DraftKings points per game, playing up on their first line and #1 power play. As well, Nick Suzuki here playing really well for the Montreal Canadiens. 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 points, and 28 shots on net in his last 10 games, averaging 16 DraftKings points per game. I'm not afraid to go back to Montreal here tonight in this spot at home against Arizona, who is not only playing playing horrible hockey as of late since the All-Star break. They're 0-7-2, but this is a team that loves to sit in the penalty box, averaging 3.82 penalties per game this year, the third most in the NHL, and we're going to see Suzuki play up on that first line and number one power play. And we're kind of rolling with a trend here with Gabriel Vilardi, a guy who's hot right now with 5 goals, 5 assists, 19 shots on net in his last 5 games, averaging 21.5 DraftKings points per game, and this is a good spot at home for them against the St. Louis Blues. We're going to see Vilardi play up on that first line and number one power play. Now moving on to the defensemen here, and there are some elite options on this slate, obviously with 24 teams in play, and I have no problem spending up for the likes of Cale Makar, Roman Josi. I actually really like Mike Matheson as well of the Montreal Canadiens. Just kind of talked about Nick Suzuki there, and we could target their number one power play against Arizona, but I wanted to highlight a little more value here at this position tonight because I do think there's a lot more value here at defense on this 12-game slate compared to the forward position. So let's start in the low 5K range here. I like Mo Seider and Brandon Montour. Seider there, 1 goal, 6 assists, 17 shots on net, and 28 block shots in his last 10 games, averaging 11.2 DraftKings points per game. I think he makes for an easy stack with that number one power play, which is scored at a 31% rate here for Detroit in their last 5 games. Mo's going to play around 21 minutes here tonight and does get time on the penalty kill as well. Brandon Montour has played some really good hockey and probably his best hockey of the season as of late. 2 goals, 7 assists, 27 shots on net, and 13 block shots in his last 10 games, averaging close to 13 DraftKings points per game, logging around 23 minutes a night, playing up on the Panthers' number one power play and their penalty kill. Now, dipping into the 4K range here, I like Travis Sanheim here tonight. He should take over on the number one power play with Jamie Drysdale out. Something to keep an eye on. I haven't seen the official lines for Philadelphia yet, but I suspect he will play there. 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points in his last 10. Has 23 block shots during that stretch, averaging close to 12 DraftKings points per game. And I don't mind this matchup at home here against Tampa Bay, a team that's allowed 3.35 goals per game this year, the 9th most in the NHL. We're going to see Sanheim play around 21 minutes here tonight and also gets time on the penalty kill. And then in terms of value plays in the 3K range, I think there are a handful. Listed them off to the right-hand side there. You got Cam York in Philadelphia, Yoki Haru in Buffalo, Sandin for the Capitals, McDonough of the Predators, and Shillington, who's really finding his game here again for the Calgary Flames, sitting at an even 3K. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you, and generally speaking, I would prefer to spend up for a goalie here tonight. 2 guys that I really like are Connor Hellebuyck and Sergei Bobrovsky. I also think that Alex Line is in play as well, but I'm going to highlight Hellebuyck here. He's $8,400 tonight, got a season record of 28, 11, and 3. Been solid here as of late too, going 6-4-0 in his last 10 games, and maybe the record isn't the best, but his numbers are still really good. He's got a save percentage of .924, goals allowed average of 2.29, averaging 16 DraftKings points per game, and the Jets are home favorites here tonight, sitting on a money line of -190, and they've also been very good in general at home this year with a 27-2 record. Now, if I'm looking to save some money here tonight, Philip Gustafsson to the Minnesota Wild stuck out to me. His numbers haven't been fantastic this year, but Minnesota is playing very good hockey since the All-Star break, where they've gone 7-1-1 during that stretch, and this Hurricanes team, albeit a tough matchup, they love to shoot the puck, so Gustafsson should see a lot of rubber on net here tonight, a team that averages close to 33 shots on net per game, or the 7th most in the NHL. And as always, going to wrap up these DraftKings plays here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. 2 guys that I'm highlighting are more opportunity plays. That's with Dawson Mercer and Riley Smith. Mercer's going to play on that line with Jack Hughes and Tyler Toffoli tonight, and also play on the Devils' number 2 power play in a really good spot against San Jose. Now let's talk about Riley Smith here quickly. He's going to be up on that first line with Sid here tonight in a tougher matchup against Vancouver, but when you have the opportunity to play with Crosby, I will take advantage of that if you're in the 3K range. He's also going to see time on the Pens' number 2 power play. One guy who is playing really well right now is Tyson Forrester of the Philadelphia Flyers, priced at $3,500. He's got 7 goals, 1 assist, 8 points here in his last 10 games, averaging close to 11 DraftKings points per game. And then to wrap up this video here, let's talk a little prize picks. And if you haven't signed up for prize picks yet and you want to get in on this action, you got to take advantage of my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, because prize picks will give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit when using that promo code. Now, we've been off to a good start here with the prize picks since getting back at it. We've got 9-4-1 here over the last week. And I got two picks here tonight. First being Mike Matheson. I like the over on 2.5 shots on net. And then Alex DeBrincat. We're going to take the over on a point. So those are the two picks that I like here tonight. But make sure you follow me on Twitter as well, because I do tend to post some bonus picks there, as well as just talk some general hockey information. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 12-game slate. And in the meantime, I'm out of here.